a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld today. I'm B-Ron and joining me is Yells. Yells, good to have you here with me this morning. Big SWBA week here coming up still. More games coming up. Game 3 ended a couple days ago. Let's just jump right into things, shall we? Pacers got the win.
Well, let me say my
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing. I
of
want to say
course.
it's good to be here, and I want to say you're a lot more handsome than Marsh. It's good to be here with you.
Hey, look, it's good to be here with
And
you
after looking
again
at
as
him every
well.
Friday, this is a good time. So,
Good time as always. Pacers are also having a good time. They're up 2-1 on the Thunder after winning Game 3 the other night, 116 to 107. I know Marsh and JK talked about it, but the Pacers, they did it again, Yells, after Game 1. They rallied back in the end, just
yeah.
like Game 1. So what does this rally again show or tell you about the Pacers or about the Thunder?
B-Ron, it tells me a couple things. But before I even start on that, number one, let's get this out of the way. I've dubbed it many times, and I've tried to coin this year. I'm trying to brand it. We'll throw a copyright on it if we need to. This year is the year of will over what?
Will over skill?
Will over skill. Not saying that the Pacers are not skilled. Not saying that OKC does not have will, but clearly the Pacers have exhibited much more will throughout these playoffs than the OKC Thunder. The Thunder have just been a better team than most teams, and I mean, the Pacers just want it more, man, and that's what things come down to in life. That's what things come down to on the hardwood, on the football field, what have you. Halliburton having tough nights, and to be totally honest, he didn't start off that game just a few nights ago. He didn't start off particularly strong, but his team came and had, they had his back. Matherin, what did he have? 22, 23 off the bench.
Yeah.
You got big time production from other guys. Obviously, Pascal Siakam had a good game. Miles Turner, who I'm not a huge fan of, got it done in the right moments, and then Halliburton came alive. They are a quintessential team with much heart. And they just wanted it more. On the other end of that, I will, I'm not letting OKC off the hook. They also gave away game one. We talked about that. But this last game, they didn't execute. And furthermore, they just didn't look like they wanted it. I know this is not basketball X and O's talk that everyone wants to hear, but they just didn't look like they wanted it down the stretch. They looked skilled. They look like they rely on Shea Gilgis. It looked like Chet Holmgren's a great player. All the talented players we know that are on their team, and everyone knows I love Alex Caruso. It's just a damn dog. That's my top guy. I love Alex Caruso's game. He can play any position on the court, but OKC, they're young, right? This is, in
Yeah.
my personal opinion, I've called it. I said it before the series started. I think the Pacers win in six, and I believe that's because the Pacers have been battle tested. They have that heart and that desire, and I may have sent the team a quote, B-Ron. I'll give this back to you, man. But I may have sent the team a quote. If not, I'll send it out to my little motivation group. But there's a little saying, man, and it's when things come easy to you, you don't really know how to work hard for them, and that's just a fact of life. OKC is a very good team. They beat teams. They beat them by 20, or they end up losing games, right?
Yeah.
So when they're tested, I don't think they have that character built up to win the tough ones like the Pacers do at this point. They're going to be a perennial dynasty getting where they need to go in the future, but right now they got to learn that character.
Yeah, they have to figure out some way to get it together, right? And I think that that's a challenge that they have to overcome now again, because again, you can't give away games like they did again in game one, and then in this one the other day. You can't allow. I know the Pacers were at home, but they only had 18 points in the fourth quarter. Thunder did. That's not winning basketball in the fourth quarter. Not good at all. But you mentioned Shea earlier. I want to talk about him really quick because there was concern about fatigue being an issue for him in the fourth quarter. And he fills it out in the fourth quarter. He says, you know what, you got to suck it up and deal with it, essentially. But, however, all that being said, that's all great, well and good. But is his fatigue issues a concern for you?
A concern, yes. An excuse, no. because in these pivotal moments, you got to do what you got to do. So he said the right things. I believe he believes the right things, and I believe that he's got to figure out a way to play through it. But as a coach, as teammates, you got to figure out something. You got to figure out how to support your star player, the MVP of the league, the future of the league. And he does a lot. You know that we've seen this in other series. It happened to Anthony Edwards earlier in the playoffs, and people didn't make a big enough deal about it, and they don't get the parallels with OKC just because they have so much more talent around them, and they're a sexy team to pick. But when you have your guy that he has to catch the ball off the inbound in the backcourt, bring it up against pressure. He's responsible for facilitating all of the offense from a high pick and roll, not because he's catching and shooting, getting it off the dribble, or getting easy buckets, but because he has to literally create it from the time he catches the ball on the inbound, bring it up the court, high pick and roll with spacing. He has to create the space, right? He's a magician in the mid range, but he's got to get to that spot. There's a lot of effort that he has to exert doing that. So other people have to step up. Now I'm not talking about just hitting open jumpers from the corner or just making an easy roll to the basket, Chet Holmgren, getting that easy pick and roll bucket just on a dunk. I'm not talking about Jalen. I'm not talking about Mr. Williams and a couple other guys just hitting that open jumper. They need somebody else to take the ball and go get a bucket to take some load off of him. And I put a little bit of that on the coach and just keep running that same offense over and over, beating your guy into the ground.
Yeah, I know, I agree, and
the Pacers made the adjustment too.
Yeah,
they made
the
adjustment. They got physical with him on the high pick and roll. Occasionally he got loose, but yeah, I think they recognize we could put a little body on him. Rick Carlisle knows what he's doing.
He does. He sure does know what he's doing. And I think that's part of the adjustment that everybody has to make in the finals. Everybody's making the game moment to moment adjustments, right? There is a difference, in my opinion, between an excuse and something that's right. It's valid, exactly. Yeah. The explanation for the poor play is fatigue, sure, but like you said, not an excuse for the poor play. A reason, sure, but it happens. Everybody gets tired. You gotta figure out a way to fight through it. SJ, he said the right thing. Now it's a matter of them adjusting to things and continuing to make the changes to see what happens the rest of the series. Because as we look ahead, we talked about our picks. We've heard everybody else's picks. Vegas is still on the Thunder despite their loss in Game 3.
Vegas is crazy.
I know you picked the Pacers to win. It sounds like it hasn't changed for you.
Has not changed.
Has not changed for you. Okay, fair enough.
Has not changed at all. Pacers in 6.
In 6,
it still stands.
Well, like Vegas, I'm still on the Thunder train, but I'm getting a little close to change my mind here, perhaps, and being a flip flopper. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but I think it's okay to change your mind when presented with new information. I will leave you with that gem, and we'll wrap this up here. Thank you all.
For sure. Let me get this out, B-Ron. When I'm on here, I like to get a couple things I don't get to get heard from often. Despite the fact we have two extremely up-tempo teams in the finals who like to space the floor and there's a lot of perimeter play, despite all of that, I think this playoff run and everything has really showcased that a different type and a previous type of basketball that we've seen with more interior play and big men is going to make a return. Because what we're watching right now with OKC, what we watched with Minnesota, what we watched with the Celtics, and when the Pacers have lost, is what we've seen with the Pacers. The high pick and roll, it doesn't matter how many versions of it you want to run, where you run it from on the court and all of that. Running the high pick and roll, having one man do all the work and just kicking it out for corner threes is not basketball. That's a video game. And that is hurting teams right now if they're not hitting the shots.
Well, look, there's going to be a good couple of big men coming in between Jameson Johnson, Lamar, and Sherwood. We can go down that list for days. We don't have time for it right now. But look, we'll talk about that later on in the future. Thank you, Yells, for joining me this morning on SimWorld today. Really appreciate your time as always. Marsh, I appreciate you allowing me to fill your seat this morning. And remember, you guys, you know what to do. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, know on all of our shows, games, and we're having them. Viral runs go live. Check out those as well. And until next time, on Monday, remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. Marsh will be back on Monday.